Hey guys, it's Game Eater here with Cynical Gaming. Today beside me I have
Boom Chicken!
Alright, and today we're going to be going over the classes. We're going to be doing an overview, what jobs they lead into, and
later on we'll even get into the best, what our opinions are going to be on the best DPS, best tanking, best healing. And maybe even get into what we are expecting out of future installments of Final Fantasy XIV with what classes could come and what jobs will follow with.
Alright, so we're going to start out with the 8 classes. We have the Gladiator, Marauder, Lancer, Pugilist, Thaumaturge, Archer, Arcanist, and Conjurer.
And then what they also lead into their jobs are Paladin, Dragoon, Monk, Bard, Warrior, White Mage, Black Mage, and I believe it's going to be Scholar and Summoner.
Yes.
Now, in order to get your main job, you need a level 30 character, which is going to be your main class.
Yeah, your main class, the one you start off with a freshly created character.
And then you're also going to need a level 15 subclass. So what does this mean? This means that you're going to need, for a Paladin, you're going to need a level 30 Gladiator.
And a level 15 Conjurer.
To make the Paladin. And then so forth, Lancer.
And Pugilist.
And then, for the Monk, if I do remember correctly, it's going to be Pugilist, and then, is it Lancer? Maybe Lancer? It's Lancer.
Yes.
Lancer. For Bard, Archer, Conjurer.
Yep.
Warrior, Marauder is going to be Marauder, Gladiator. For White Mage, it's going to be Conjurer and Gladiator.
Yeah. Which is...
It's flip-flopped. It doesn't make that much sense.
Yeah, it's a little bit weird, but in the long run, it does make a lot of sense. But keep going.
And then for Black Mage, finally, you're going to need Thaumaturge and Pugilist.
Yes.
Now, for once we get into the Arcanist class, we're not sure what their subclass is going to be.
Yeah, because a lot of the information we have has been data mined, so we don't have a very clear idea as to what's going in with that. So we'll touch back on that once, like Beta Phase 4 starts.
Beta Phase 4 starts here in the next few days.
Yes.
So, but I think my prediction for Scholar, you're going to need your level 30 Arcanist with a level 15 Conjurer. Makes most sense because Scholar is a more heal over time class.
That is the hot class.
Yeah,
the hot one.
Hot! And then for Summoner, you're also going to need your Arcanist. If I do remember correctly, might potentially be a Black Mage. Because it makes more sense because you have a Black Mage. Thaumaturge, thank you.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm a little derpy today.
Derp.
And you're going to need your subclass being Thaumaturge. So it makes the most sense because Thaumaturge also has a lot of main hit and heals, but also has some damage over time.
Yes. Now, but with this though, when you have your main class and your subclass, you will gain some abilities from the subclass, but you won't gain them all. So your main thing is, your main class, you will gain those abilities, and then when you start your job, you will have some abilities from your 2 classes. More from your main class, less from your subclass.
Yeah, so essentially, let's say you start off as, you want to be a Paladin.
Yes.
Which is what you want to be.
Yes.
Okay, so you level your Gladiator to 30, and then you subclass your Conjurer to 15.
Yeah. You
just made your Paladin right there. So all of your Gladiator abilities are going to carry over.
Oh, okay, all of them, sorry.
Are going to carry over, and then some of the Conjure abilities carry over as well.
Like minor heal?
Like Cure and then Protect. Some of the solo stuff, but once you get into raiding and more PvP areas of the game, you're going to want to level a lot of your classes to higher levels. That way, most of the abilities will also carry over.
Yes, because once you're in your job, any class that you have leveled, you will gain some abilities from them. So if you... Like me, I will be a level 50 Paladin, but then if I level up all my other classes to, say, 30, I will gain a little bit from all those other classes.
Yeah, so it really is a little confusing at first, but once you get your hands on it, I'm going to guess it's a lot more simpler.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay, so now that we got over those basics, let's talk about how... We're going to debate on this real hard. What is the best tanking class in the game,
Paladin.
in your opinion?
Paladin. Look at this. Hands down. Paladin.
Why do you think Paladin?
Because it's a freaking Paladin. I mean, Paladins are you hear about them all the time. They are just amazing warriors. Well, knights of the round table, so on and so forth. That kind of bullshit. But anywho, I think the Paladin will be the best because not only can he block, he can parry. May not have the best DPS, but You know, tanks are not meant to deal out damage. They are
Yeah.
meant to take it and hold enmity. So
Aggro.
yes, aggro. But you know, I see the Pally being better because he's not going to have to focus on dealing damage at all. His main focus is just holding enmity. And with the shield and the sword combo, he can parry the blows and block them, which adds to the fact
Yeah,
that
but-
he's not going to be hit as much.
Yeah, you're thinking more World of Warcraft terms, though. Okay, if you have your sword and your shield, you parry, you block. You know, you're not going to take the damage. But in Final Fantasy XIV, you're going to be able to parry. And you're still going to take some, but you're not going to take all of the blow. You're still going to be able to block, but you're not going to take all of the blow as well.
Because, like, even so, with that, because I was thinking you would be able to block it all, you know, big text, block, no damage taken. But even if you only block a percentage of it, if you're blocking a percentage of it, you're still taking less damage.
Yeah.
And, you know, say I got a 20% chance to parry and a 20% chance to block, then I'm technically taking 40% less damage. You know, with your warrior, on the other hand, can only parry.
But here's the thing. I'm going to go into Warrior now. Warrior is one of the more different tank classes. Like he said, he's got a sword and a shield as a Paladin.
Yep.
As a Warrior, you're wielding this giant two-handed axe. Now, what you can do, your Warrior's HP pool is going to be considerably higher than a Paladin's. It might be, you know, a level 50 with, you know, good gear on, with endgame gear. It might be a good 1,000 or 2,000 HP more than a Paladin. That does make a difference. But with the Paladin, they are more DPS tanks. So what that means, they hit harder. They're going to get more aggro. They're going to get more enmity.
But not if you look at abilities. I mean, some abilities will higher your enmity growth.
But see, here's where you want to cross over Gladiator with your Warrior. That way you have a lot of... The Gladiator seems to be a lot more AoE tanking, while Warrior seems to be more solo tank.
Yeah.
But if you mix those two together, you get the best of both worlds. And on top of that, with the Warrior, most of your abilities will also transfer when you deal damage. Will also transfer a certain percentage back to your HP. So it's also going to be, if you're a healer, it's going to be less harder to heal a Warrior,
Also,
in my opinion.
Think about it, you know, if you have the higher HP pool and you get hit and it drops, say, 25%. But while you're attacking,
That's a big hit.
Yeah, while you're attacking, you're constantly, you know, gaining some HP back. But if it's so big, it's going to take you a while to gain all your HP back.
Yeah.
So, but on the same point, you know, if the Pally's blocking and parrying, mitigating damage, the healer's going to have less to heal. Because you can't block and parry, you're going to be taking more damage essentially. You may have a higher HP pool, but I have a better chance of taking less damage.
Okay, let's get done with this topic. Let's go into the best DPS in the game.
From what I heard, it's going to be the Archer, leading into the Bard. But, you know, I'm kind of confused by it because the Bard is a supportive class. You know, they sing and play their little lutes and shit. So I'm kind of confused as to how that's going to be the best DPS.
Essentially, with the Bard, they focus off the Archer abilities.
Okay.
And then once you get to level 50, you're also going to want to focus in on all the other subclass abilities. Like Lancer is going to take a huge part into their game.
I'm forgetting subclasses.
Yeah, but when they're singing, they do 20% less damage. So they can sing and still do all their abilities at the same time.
Here's a question real quick. If you're singing, is that the only time the buffs are present while you're singing?
I don't believe so. Like,
So
because
they have a
in the
time
description,
counter.
they say you do 20% less damage while you sing, but you'll gain, like, there's one ability that regains your party's TP within a 20 elm radius. So, which I'm going to guess is a 20-yard radius in World of Warcraft terms.
Real world terms.
Yeah, essentially. But once they start doing that, their damage is going to drop a little bit. And I'm thinking their songs are on a certain time counter, like maybe 60 seconds, 30 seconds, what have you.
Okay.
And then they stop singing and they go back to main damage dealing.
So, like, if a bard was stuck with just damage, they are the highest. But if they use some of their support roles or support abilities, then it's going to lower their DPS to where somebody else can bowl ahead of them. But then once they stop singing, they can take the limelight again.
Yeah, once they stop singing, their damage is going to increase heavily again.
See, and
I agree. I agree with you that the archer should evolve into a different class than the bard. But from what I understood in the live letter, they're talking about making, like how Arcanist did. Arcanist went into Summoner and Scholar.
Yeah.
They branched off into two different jobs. From what I understood, maybe in 3.0 when the next expansion comes out, some of the classes are going to be able to branch off into two different jobs as well. So there could be that archer could evolve into, let's say, a ranger or a hunter or something like that, and then still carry the bard subclass. So essentially, they could also just gain another job.
So, actually, you got your main class and you got subclasses. So maybe down the road you will have your main job and a sub job.
I think that would be going way too technical.
Okay,
but anyway, my opinion for the best DPS in the game would have to be a monk. Their rotation is very hard.
Okay, look, definitely the best DPS potential if you are like retardedly good. Because if you are not good enough to keep that rotation down, your DPS is going to suck.
Yeah, it is going to be a little bit harder to play. But for the veteran players, for the people that are used to playing harder classes like World of Warcraft's Rogue, back when and Burning Crusade came out and Vanilla and all the other expansions, they were a little bit more difficult class to master, but their damage output was humongous.
Yes.
So I think the monk might be dumbed down a little bit later in patches.
Expect a lot of dumbing down for the dungeons, the jobs, the classes. I mean, it's not all going to be the same forever.
Yeah.
Obviously.
I think the one class that they are going to have to boost up in damage, if we're doing this, doing it that way, is going to have to be the Black Mage. From what I've read, a lot of people who played Beta Phase 3 weren't all too impressed with the Black Mage's DPS. So they were like,
But at the same point, the Black, in Beta Phase 3, you didn't have all the abilities available to you.
No, this is true. This is true. But a lot of people are also confused about Flare. Flare takes up all your MP. They didn't say if it's the MP that you have right now.
Or if it takes max MP.
Either way, it does set into... it gives you a full stack of Astral Fire 3, which helps you damage out better. Okay. But it clears out Umbral Ice. Umbral Ice is if you're casting Blizzard over and over and over again, your mana is going to regenerate quickly.
So... you take all your mana and lose your mana regeneration. Where does that leave you after you cast Flare?
Black mages do have a ability, basically like I can't remember the World of Warcraft term. Basically, to convert 20%. The numbers might change. 20% of your max HP into 20% of your MP.
Okay.
So I think that's where that rotation is going to come in.
Yeah, and if you include
if you kill off
rotation though,
if you kill off, you get your third stack of Astral Fire 3, and then hit off Flare, knock out all your MP, convert your HP to MP, and then start doing your Astral Fire until you are almost out of MP, and then start doing your Umbral Ice rotation.
And then
that could be the rinse and repeat pattern for it, but we're not sure yet.
Yes. Definitely not sure.
Easily the best heals in the game. White Mage.
They're like the only heals.
They are the only heals for right now, but Scholar's coming along in Beta Phase 4.
Oh, yeah.
And early access.
Heal over time,
guys. He's the Scholar's the heals over time.
Yeah.
White Mages are the more heal dependents. They just wham bam and you're almost full health again.
So what would you say, like maybe in a raid have a White Mage focus on tank?
Yeah.
And then Scholar rest of the party?
Yeah, but here's the thing with Scholar. Scholar's going to be implementing buffs through his heals, too. So, after, let's say, his World of Warcraft terms, rejuvenation ends, a buff is going to be placed on him saying, take less physical damage for 15%. By 15% for 10 seconds. That's an example. That's not a guaranteed ability.
But that does sound better, though.
Yeah.
I mean, just the fact that he's implementing buffs, because buffs help in any situation. Anything that boosts your character farther than what he currently is helpful.
Yeah. So, White Mages are probably more along the lines of the tank, but the Scholar are definitely going to be implemented a lot into the rating system.
You want a guaranteed win on a dungeon? 3 healers, 2 heal over times with buffs, and 1 tank. May take you an hour to take down 1 person, but hey, you'll do it.
That is the longest dungeon in history. Now, Let's see what else was there to do. Our expectations for further jobs and classes and jobs. I'll let you start off.
Well, playing, the first few Final Fantasies, I really like the ninja class. Just, I don't know, I love ninjas. Ninjas beat pirates all the time and all that.
Pirates. Mother of God, what have you done?
If they bring in pirates, Ark be Mickey. Let's see,
You're
what
so
else?
I'm personally excited for the Red Mage, if they are to bring the Red Mage in.
I hope that they don't, though.
How come?
It's just like, the Red Mage, yes, he was like an everything class. And if you have a whole bunch of everything classes, it kind of defeats the purpose of a single class.
It does, but I mean...
Like, say, a party of a Paladin, a Dragoon, and a White Mage go up against 3 Red Mages, who's going to win?
Duh.
The 3 Red Mages.
No, nonsense.
Not to mention PvP possibilities with the Red Mage. Oh my god.
The Red Mage will have an extraordinary PvP ability list.
Okay, no, I do hope they bring him in just so I can look.
But, I mean, there's another one I'm looking forward to, and a lot of people are also looking forward to. There was this class back in Final Fantasy XI. You might have known it, but you never played it. Of course, you'll see it in almost every Asian movie out there from China. What's that one movie called with Tom Cruise in it? Was it The Last Samurai? Samurai Class. Samurai Class.
There you go.
Yeah.
You got it.
That was one of the bigger damage dealing output classes back in 11 when I played. I stopped playing in 2006.
That's like a monk and a lancer just like thrown together in a blender, and this is what pops
That could
out.
be the potential class output.
Yeah.
That would actually make somewhat sense.
It kind of would. Okay.
Any more you can think of?
No, really, I love the ninja, and, I mean... no, they basically got all their other ones I'm really curious about.
Pirates.
Ninjas.
Freaking pirates.
If
This fight will never end between ninjas and pirates, you know that.
I know. It's a never-ending fight, just like Paladin and freaking Warrior.
Yeah, that one will never end either.
Okay, what about news this week?
News this week, if you didn't watch our previous video, Beta Phase 4 is implemented here on August 16th. Those who didn't register in time will be able to register on the 17th and hope they can get in from the 17th through the 19th.
Yeah, which, I mean, if you didn't have a chance to register, it still does give you some time, but not
You're
as much
losing
as
a
the
day.
other people.
You're losing a day. And then they're taking a couple days off, and then early access...
Thank you for that, actually. I'm glad to hear they took a couple days off, because that will give them time to fix any bugs that anybody finds.
Especially with Arcanist coming out at Beta Phase 4.
Yes, they're
having a 3-day run with him.
Exactly.
God knows what can happen.
Yeah, because I mean, you could go to cast a spell, and next thing you know, you turn into a freaking tree. I mean, anybody can do anything they want with the codes.
Why are you bringing druids into this? Mother of God.
No, I was really happy to hear it wasn't going to go into release right after beta.
Yeah. And then early access starts on August 24th and will roll all the way through into launch. Once August 27th.
Okay, 27th.
Once they implement launch, once launch night comes around, they're not shutting the servers down. They're rolling straight through with it. So those who were able to be into early access for those 3 days prior are still going to be able to play once. For us, it's going to be 3 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time.
Oh boy, I hope my wife lets me camp out for this one.
No, I doubt that.
Me too.
Yeah. But, I'd say any other news? Beta Phase 4 is just right around the corner, early access. The same day that the technical launch date comes out, there's going to be another live letter from the directors and the producers. So there's something to look forward to in that.
And if you do play in Beta Phase 4, make sure before you log out on the last day that you are in and in.
Lol.
But that way you will have rested experience, because when you log out while you're in and in,
lol,
you will have rested experience, which, it's like, what, a 1.25% increase in experience?
Normally it's double.
Okay, double experience, but that would just help you level up when the game first comes
so
out.
I mean, once the beta phase ends, you got the 5 days off, and then once early access starts, you basically have 5 days of rested XP. So that's going to be a huge factor going into. That's going to make leveling quick.
Yes.
Especially for the newcomers out here.
Yeah, and Unfortunately, I won't be able to. I will just be getting it on release date. So this guy's going to be pulling ahead of me, of course.
You're a scrub.
Yeah.
High five for scrub. All right, guys. That's it from here. Cynical
Yeah.
Gaming. What's our next video going to be?
I think. What haven't we covered yet?
A lot.
Well then, we'll just have to wait and see.
I think
we'll
our
figure this one out.
Yeah, I think our next video is just going to be maybe an overview on Beta Phase 4.
Yeah, that would probably be best. You know, once you get to play it and have a feel for it, that's when we'll post our next video, because then, you know, we can actually give some credited information.
Yeah, I think that might be a good idea.
Okay.
But anyway, Boom Chicken here.
Game Eater here.
And thanks for joining to Cynical Gaming. And please make sure you like, favorite, and subscribe, and share with your friends. It helps us...
Feel better.
Yeah, feel better.
Feel better about myself every
Helps
day.
gets our word out there, and hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. So if you guys did, make sure to like, favorite, subscribe, and share.
And don't forget to comment what you want to see next.
Yes, comments are important. Anyways, take care, guys.